What's going on, guys? It's Rest, and in today's video I'm going to be going over something I didn't think I would be going over right now since the DLC is just 2 days away, but I have seen all of you guys' messages and comments on how you want a Hellwalker build before the DLC launches so you can play around with that when everything new comes out. And speaking of you guys, I actually want to say really quick, thank you so much for 3,000 subscribers. It absolutely means the world to me. It has now officially been a year since I've consistently started uploading on this channel, and to gain 3,000 subs in 1 year is absolutely mind-blowing. Also, I want to say thank you so much for all the consistent support that I've been getting over these past few weeks. It has absolutely been insane. The love from all of you is absolutely crazy, and I seriously thank you guys so much for everything. Here's to another year. Now, this build is the Phasecast Hellwalker style build. Now, in this build, I actually want to give a huge shout out to Lazy Data. He actually just posted a deathless Phasecast Amara build that I'm taking a lot of inspiration from. I'm taking kind of what he did and the interactions between his gear and putting it into something I would use. If you want to check his stuff out, the link for his channel in the video will be in the description. Definitely be sure to go watch that because his build is also very insane. Now, like I said, I'm taking that and I'm also pairing it with my 5 elements on Amara build so I can have all 5 elements on the Hellwalker, and it is absolutely insane. As always, my builds are located in my Discord channel. If you'd like to download them, the link for the Discord will be in the description. If you download the build, enjoy the video, find it helpful in any way, consider subscribing and drop a like. It's free and it's what allows me to keep making videos like this for you guys. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoy this build. Alright, so being since level 65 is just about to come out, I'm not going to go super in depth with this build. I'm just going to generally talk about what makes this super strong and all the interactions. Once level 65 does drop and I acquire new gear, I will absolutely be making an updated build for this, and I will go way more in depth with everything that's going on. But essentially for this build, it's going to be all around doing damage with your phase cast, and I mean like one-shotting enemies with your phase cast and killing a lot of enemies with your Hellwalker. So starting off with the Hellwalkers, I have one right here. Well, while under 50% health, you deal 150% bonus radiation damage. So now we're going to be doing an extra bonus radiation damage with this Hellwalker, and on top of that, this buff actually does apply to your phase cast and it scales with action skill damage. This is allowing your phase cast to do an insane amount of damage while you're holding this weapon. So not only is your phase cast been doing a ton of damage, you have your Hellwalker right here with incendiary, radiation, and we're going to be running an old god where we get 50% bonus corrosive damage. At its piss, we get 50% bonus cryo damage, and I'm going to be taking infusion with shock, and we're going to have a shock damage. So that is all 5 elements on the Hellwalker at one time, and it absolutely destroys. It is very good for bossing and it is very, very good for mobbing. So between those two, that's pretty much all you have to run. But now, as you see, I am going to include another Hellwalker with a phase cast annoy. I'm including this because I know a lot of you guys want this for your builds. I honestly don't really ever run this Hellwalker. I highly encourage running the URAT Hellwalker. It is insanely good for the build we're going for, and it's what makes your axe skill do a ton of damage. But if you want to go the generic route and just use this, I'm absolutely going to include that, and you can have fun with it. And we've already went over the old god and the its piss. So for the artifact, I'm running a Snowdrift Deathless. Any artifact will work. You just need to have Deathless, obviously, so you can proc URAT on Amara. But this is also giving you more shotgun damage, axe skill, cooldown rate, and magazine size. The magazine size is really good because you're going to get another shot with the Hellwalker, so you can shoot it twice instead of once before it has to reload, which is really nice. And then for the class mod, I'm just running a Phasewalker with more shotgun damage, Jacob's weapon critical hit damage, and more axial cooldown rate. You want as much axial cooldown rate right here as possible so you can keep doing your phase cast out doing the same amount of damage. Obviously, the shotgun damage and critical damage is really good for the Hellwalker when you don't have a phase cast up, but you should pretty much have a phase cast up pretty much at all times. Now, getting into the skills really quick. Like I said, I'm not going to go over everything. I'm generally just going to talk about what you really need to run. For phase cast, you can honestly run whatever you want to, but I like reverberation because every time your phase cast passes to an enemy, you're getting 50% more action skill damage. Essentially, it's just increasing your phase cast damage, which is really, really good. And I like to run Revelation, even though it does decrease your axial damage a little bit. It doesn't matter with this build as much, and that Nova is also going to be scaling to your damage. Now, since you're running Revelation and I have access to Taz Divine, you can also swap this out if you want to run Taz Divine Revelation to insta kill a lot of enemies. That is also an option. It's whatever you want to do, but obviously we're going to be focusing on phase cast since this is a phase cast style build. Now, for this build, like I said, I'm running the shock axe skill element, so you have access to all 5 on the Hellwalker, but you can swap it out to corrosive incendiary, whatever boss you're going against, just to do whatever you want to do. What makes this build work is things like do harm and the Phasewalker, so we get a ton of do harm stacks and increase our axe damage like crazy. We're buffing our axe skill damage with things like awakening, which is really, really good. Late Bear is also making our targets have a debuff on them after axe skill hits an enemy. Restless is giving you more cooldown rate, throw your axe skill even more. Remnant is going to have a orb that's just going to do an insane amount of damage since you're already doing an insane amount of damage, and An avatar lets you pop your axe skill twice to get more rush stacks, which means more cooldown rate, more damage, etc, etc. That is pretty much the gist of this, but if you want to go the elemental route, 5 points in infusion, 5 points in Tempest, shock axe skill element is going to be really, really good. 3 points in indiscriminate, so your bullets can ricochet, and you're actually going to do an insane amount of damage with the Hellwalker with everything ricocheting, plus Jacob's weapons already ricochet if you hit crits, so that makes indiscriminate even better, because now your body shots ricochet, and your headshots always ricochet. Then in the final skill tree, 3 points personal space, obviously to get more damage when you're up close. Since I'm playing Deathless, your health doesn't matter, so I just have a point route to Rise of Clear to get down here. So I have 5 points in health enhance, so every time you use your action skill, you're getting more damage reduction. I think I actually like to do with this build, since the Hellwalker is very good at proccing Groundbreaker. Having 1 point in Find Your Center and 1 point Illuminate Fist to get more melee damage is actually really, really good, because now your Groundbreaker is going to be getting buffed by these two skills, and you can melee things with this build too, so it's actually kind of a melee build as well. That is pretty much all you have to run. I do have some like funny gimmicky things that's going with this build. Like I have 3 points of mindfulness, so whenever we take damage, we get more movement speed and shield regeneration delay, which is really good since this is just a shield based build. That is what you're relying on for survivability, so having that delay is really nice. Now obviously with the movement speed, it's going to pair really well with the snow drift, so you can move really quick. And if you're running things like speed demon and your mayhem mode modifiers, honestly the movement speed is comical for this build. It is super fun, and you can move really quick. All right, so that was just a general rundown. Like I said, I wasn't going to go super in depth with this video. I kind of just want to get this out so you guys have a fun build to play for when the DLC launches. I will be updating this when level 65 comes out and all the new gears came out to see how everything interacts with each other. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Definitely be sure to try this out. It is a super fun build, and it is personally what I'm going to be running for when the DLC drops. DLC 4 is now only 2 days away, and I absolutely cannot wait for it. Definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be pumping out content as fast as I possibly can when everything launches. Going to be going over new builds, all the new weapons, just any new interactions in the game. So if you want to see any of that, be sure to stick around, and I will keep all of you updated. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have fun with this build when DLC 4 drops, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.
Prada Bay, run away, don't go. I'm in hell, might as well just go.